Let's do it.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. You are now listening to Doing the Most and Then Some, the podcast. Have here today, we've got myself, Stephanie Elise, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Brittany Elise. Hey, hon.
Hey, hey.
So, for all you joining us for the first time, we are moms, we are wives, we are entrepreneurs, we have the same middle name. Go figure. Um, so our podcast is about, dealing with the daily, day-to-day things of being a boss mom, because that's what we both are.
That's right.
Hey, ladies. Hey, Kia. Hi, Miss Robinson. Um, so if you're joining us, you see shouting out the people that are joining us live. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. You can find us live on YouTube and on Facebook. Tonight we are only on the Facebook because YouTube want to be stingy with their allowances tonight.
Haters.
So yeah, they didn't want us to go live till tomorrow, but we said nah, we made a promise. So
That's
here we
right.
are, day one, episode one. Hello, how you doing? First, Britt, what we want to go ahead and get started with? Do you want to start us off with the intro?
Sure, sure. So we wanted to start off the first episode just giving you guys a little background on who we are. So I'm Brittany Elise Gonzalez, and I am a mom of two. I have a 7-year-old and a 17-year-old. I'm married, and I have a chihuahua. So my life is consistently crazy, but I love it. And I would say that I describe myself as unconventional. As I prepared for this podcast, and I thought about my introduction, I really realized that I'm really not conventional in any aspect of my life except for, I guess I would say, my full-time job. But I'm definitely not your conventional mother, wife, or even pet owner, quite frankly. So yeah, so that's, I mean, I've always been told growing up that like I was the bird. I always, walk march to the beat of my own drum, and that has not changed. And quite frankly, at this point in my life, I'm not about to change it. I made it this far by doing me, so I'm gonna keep doing me, which is doing the most and then some. So
Yes. And the way I actually met Brittany was from her doing the most. It's the year 2020. We all dealing with a pandemic, and most people that had conferences, them conferences is in person got canceled. Not Brittany's. She said, "No, we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna turn this into a whole virtual event." So that's how we met up, partnering on that. So I do a little web design. I have my own little company, so I handle web design. Worked with Brittany on her website, and then she wanted to be doing the most. We said let's do the most and launch a virtual conference, and it was awesome. Um, Outside of that, I myself am a mother of two. One boy who's 5, a little girl who's 7, and yeah, so we in the thick of the elementary school years. So everything is very much still mommy, mommy, mommy around here. Married as well, going on 8 years married now. We actually just celebrated our anniversary this past Tuesday on the 10th. Was that this? It's the 10th. I guess not this past Tuesday. I don't know, guys. I've been really bad with dates since probably April, so you have to bear with me on that. Um, but outside of that, yeah, I'm just trying to. I started doing web design. Um, I'm also I'm paralegal, so I do that kind of part time. And now we got this podcast, and I'm low key maybe starting an Etsy page. I don't know. Doing the most and then some. Who knew? Who knew? So, oh hi, we got some more people in here. I love it.
I can't see who's joining us. So hello all. I apologize. I can't personally shout you out, but glad you're joining us for the first podcast. Hey, y'all, I'm not sure what happened to Stephanie. I think she froze. Um, yeah, but I'm still here. We're gonna wait, give it a second, see if she comes back in. The next topic we're gonna talk about coming up is, of course, the election because we can't do this without talking about it. So, oh, she got kicked off. Okay, it's just me. Okay, I thought so. So, I'll tell you guys a little bit more about myself before Stephanie. There she is. She's back.
Girl, you know.
Friday the 13th.
Right.
Friday the 13th.
You know what? Hold on, my Wi-Fi don't work. I am on the line. Ain't no Wi-Fi. I am plugged in directly. Come on now. Anyway,
you know how this goes. You know how this goes. I was just telling everybody what our next topic was, but you go ahead and take it away because I know how excited you are about this part.
All right. Well, first we want to start y'all off with a apology. We're sorry, y'all. We're sorry it took us so long to announce our podcast. Had we known the Pennsylvania vote counting staff was waiting for us to make the announcement so that they had something to do next Friday to finish that count for us all so we can get this election rolling, we would have done it sooner. So we wanted to start off and apologize for causing y'all all this anxiety. And also to say you're welcome.
That's right.
You're welcome. So yeah, kind of because of us that things are going the right way. And the right way. Not like, oh, suddenly, I don't even want to bring up the name because it's Friday the 13th. So, you know. But yeah. So
think positive.
we just wanted to start y'all off with that. And in regards to the election, just kind of talk about it because it only happens, I mean, a big presidential election only happens every 4 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
This past 4 years has been trying.
To say the least.
Oh, yeah, man. We got, nope. Miss Powers, we not worried about Nevada. Nevada, she's going to have to get it together another way. Nevada, look. Let's.
She still, we praying for her, but she don't worry. She's gonna.
That's right, Brittany. We praying for Nevada.
Little known fact, they had an earthquake this morning, so yeah.
That's how it comes.
I don't know that, but go ahead.
So we were just, talking about our experiences in regards to the elections, and you and I had very different experiences in regards to the election.
We definitely did.
Definitely did. So watching, I feel like, Brittany, you had a more typical experience to most people.
Go ahead.
I think people will kind of relate to your side of it a little more. So why don't you start us off with that?
Look, y'all may be able to relate to me. You may not. Like I said, I am not conventional at all. So I didn't watch any debates. A little known fact about me as well, I don't watch the news. It's not my thing. It used to give me nightmares when I was younger. So I stopped watching it years ago. So for the most part, if it's an emergency, the only way I know is because my mom calls and lets me know or sends me a text. So yeah, I don't watch the news. So therefore I wasn't really caught up that way. Then when the debates and everything came out, I was just like, I don't do 45. Like I literally only tuned into the news or live news, should you say, at the beginning of COVID, because I felt like I needed to, be up to date, to be a good mother, wife, and figure out what was going on. And I saw 2 press conferences from 45, and I was like, yeah, absolutely not. I can't. Sorry. I prefer to stay in the dark because it was like a parody. It was just, I couldn't do it. So long story short, didn't watch anything. The little bit of information I had, I went and read myself, but didn't, really stay in social media and everything like everyone else. But then I don't know what happened. The night after the election, it was like I couldn't take my eyes off the news. Like I literally could not focus at work. I was bringing up the conversation, you're not supposed to talk politics at work, but we all were talking politics. And it was crazy because this is the first time where I work now is a global company. And so this is my first time ever like talking politics globally. And I was just embarrassed for America, quite frankly. I was embarrassed because we would get on the phone and, I'm like, oh, well, we can't talk politics. And they're like, no, let's talk about it because we've been up watching it. How about you? And I'm like, yeah, like the morning after the election, I had to be up at 4 a.m. to do a presentation. So I went to bed early. So I woke up thinking, okay, hopefully I'll wake up to good news. I woke up, I was so disappointed. Like literally, like my world came to a complete halt until Saturday, quite frankly, because I was just like, I don't understand. And I kept refreshing because at least in my lifetime, there's never been an election that's taken this long to reach a decision or for them to call it. So I was just like, this is nuts. But I need for America to get their lives together and get 45 up out of here. So
exactly. Yeah, I'm still surprised. I'm gonna say I'm surprised it's close because people will find the most random of swords to die on.
That's true.
And I feel like he represented that a lot for certain people. So regardless if they do it was right or wrong, I agreed at one point, so I gotta stick with that.
Exactly. But you gotta tell them your experience, Stephanie.
My struggle,
it's hilarious, quite frankly.
My struggle with the election was trying to be prepared and being so prepared that I almost actually didn't get to vote. So I did the absentee ballot. I said, yeah, send me that because I'm going to, boom, my vote is going to be in there and be counted early. So order my absentee ballot. Woo, 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 great. In my mind, I asked for one to be mailed to me. My mouth said, send me the email one. So I started getting emails from, I don't know, was it Maryland voting office or something? I don't open them because they just say reminder to do absentee ballot. Cool, I will. Once you send it to me, absolutely, I will fill that out. I even got on my husband. I'm like, did you register for early absentee? No, I'm going to just go and vote. So I never got any flag, and he was getting mail. Like, he was getting mail from the voting office. So I was like, cool. So I was like, well, I'll just go in person, right? I get there. They ask my name, and he's like, ma'am, you cannot vote today. It's like, see what we're not going to do. Like, let's, this is Howard County. I am shocked and appalled. If that's what we're doing, you're checking my name and saying, no, ma'am, you're not allowed to vote. So I'm already ready to fight the slave worker ballot. Everybody. Bad enough the number of, I don't even know what they are. I call them propaganda people that were literally standing in my way. Like, I see the sign. You guys must be blind because you're not back there where the sign is. So then she tells me, I did absentee. I'm like, right, I did the absentee ballot. You all just never sent it. She said, no. Do you have a smartphone? I was like, yeah. She makes me pull up the email. She says, now scroll. Basically, scroll to the bottom. She says, click the link. So I clicked the link, and she's like, now go home and do your ballot and get back to the box. Yes, ma'am. All right. So had to go home, do the ballot thing at home to bring it back. Of course, then I was like freaking out. I'm like, do I put postage on it? So then I spent 30 minutes trying to figure out if you had to put postage on it to put it in the box, because I didn't do that kind of research. I thought I was prepared to do absentee voting. I was not. And I even asked her, like, well, I'm already here. Can I vote? She's like, if you do, we won't count it for 2 weeks. So, yeah, I went home, had to print some paper, and come back and deal with the propaganda folks again. Some woman in her Trump flag cape. I was like, oh, great. And because, they make a big deal.
They do.
Like, oh, you voted. And I'm like, yo, like, that's not me. I'm wearing some combat boots and a camo jacket. We can get it. That's how I feel right now, because I feel foolish that I tried to be super prepared for this election, and I failed horribly across the board.
Miserably.
So, but that was my story, which I thought wasn't as relatable to most, because usually most people open up emails. I assume I did not. Or when you get as many as I actually went back and did a search, I got like 6 to 8 emails. If you're getting that many, you might open it. No, not me.
Nothing at all.
Right.
It's funny. I will just add one more thing about my experience. So I actually had a lady who tried to cheat at the when I went to vote. So me and my husband went to vote together, and me and the lady, we were in line the entire time together. And then we ended up sitting beside each other because we both decided to do electronic. And so she literally was like, excuse me. And like I'm ignoring her, like, okay, what is she doing? And then she's like, excuse me. I was like, yes. And she's like, who's the Democratic candidate? I was like, ma'am, I can't say anything to you because I refuse to get kicked out. Like I felt, but I was just like, this whole time we done stood in line, you did before you. Okay, well, I was like, just look at the ticket, read the ticket. That's what I told her.
Right.
I can't say anything else. And I was like, who cheats at the election ballots? Who does that? So that was my 2020 election experience. So
wow,
it worked out, so no complaints.
Wow. Yeah, see, I'm glad you knew that that's what's happening because I would have been like, oh, bless your heart. So here's who they are. And then
Well, even I know you can get kicked out for that.
Well, we clearly know. I just know I'm supposed to vote, okay? I tell myself there are 3 things my country asks of me. To vote, pay my taxes, and don't break the law. I didn't go further than that. I didn't read the subscript on how I'm supposed to do these things appropriately, okay? So I'd be like, oh, there's Biden and Kamala. I'm sure there's some other people. You want to really research them. And they would have been like, ma'am, come with us.
They would have escorted you out promptly.
All the way out. Well, at least we're done with the elections now. Yes. I feel like people were waiting on those elections.
Today. I'm just looking forward to, now I will watch the news when they drag him out of the White House. Then I will watch the news. I'm looking forward to watching the news that day.
I feel like the best thing he can do is think he's going to mess up the inauguration by like ducking out the night before. Like, can you just like, although people think he's going to do this whole thing and have to get dragged out, he's so prideful that he won't let his legacy be infamous over the fact that he was dragged out.
What legacy? Okay, next subject, because you must say legacy.
In his mind, he's making a legacy.
No.
In his mind, in history, he wouldn't want it, what he thinks he did was a good job, be overshadowed by I got pulled out. I'm just saying. I see. All right, Bray, we're going to move on. That's fine. We're going to move on. Right. So next on our little agenda here today, we got Black Friday shopping. It started early this year. Like
it did, and I'm loving it. Let me tell you, I hope my daughter is not watching this or my son, because I'm pretty much done. Listen, the sales are amazing. They are amazing. And between being at home and Target doing buy this, get this gift card, and Amazon doing all these specials, I had gift cards stacked up, and then when the sales dropped on top of the gift card,
right,
half of what I wanted to spend. But let me say this, I spent it at the big box stores. Sorry guys. I didn't say this in the beginning. My company is Martin Mom on the Move. So what I do is I connect mothers to resources to help with this controlled chaos that we call motherhood. And a lot of that is really connecting them with mompreneurs. So I'm a big advocate of small businesses, local businesses, Black-owned businesses. Even in my full-time career, like I literally work in supplier diversity. So like I'm all about it 24/7. Howsoever, it does work. And the things that, especially my daughter, again, she's 7, the things that she wants are the things that are like really heavily marketed. And, I don't want to ruin her Christmas.
Look,
it's been hard enough for the kids.
But her Christmas, your Christmas. Because if they don't get, who's miserable? They're not going to be miserable. They will enjoy taking it out on you.
That's true. Let me just say this. Her birthday, both of their birthdays are in October. So they're 10 years, 10 days apart. And don't judge me, guys. But like I have been spacing this time out, letting her open like one gift a week. It's like they're stacked up downstairs. It's great because when she gets a little antsy, I'm like, you want to go downstairs and pick another gift off the shelf? And she's like, can I? I'm like, yes, but you have to go upstairs and play with it so mommy can concentrate. I feel like this could be an ongoing thing through
I feel
2020.
like that's hashtag mom goals right there. Like that's genius.
Listen, it's the thing, and it works. Oh, it works to a T. But back to my plan. So the plan is to get them. Well, I've gotten them most of the big box items they wanted from the big box stores. But now I can take my time, since we have some extra time to go, and find some like specialty black owned things for them. So I have found a couple. Like I know there's a lady who does like tea sets, and so she's doing like a LOL surprise theme one. Perfect. My daughter's going to get that. Like I want to support her. Same thing. Like my son, he really just wants money and the PlayStation 5. So I figure, we'll figure that part out. But then also like maybe some local or black owned apparel lines, like sweatshirts and things like that. He likes those type of things. So that's what I'm going to do for them, and maybe some things with like affirmations on them. I've seen a couple of companies that sell like affirmations and things of that nature. So that's my plan. So I do plan on getting them something at least that is black owned and local. And then for everyone else, they're literally getting some form of alcohol, something either black or local, and then doing most and then some. If I can make time, this year I want to give everyone something DIY. For all who are watching who are gift receivers from me, if you don't get anything DIY, sorry, I ran out of time.
I was gonna say, how do we get on the Brittany gift list for this year? Like
you will be on it, Stephanie. You've been my project all year.
All right.
So what's your plan? How's it going for you?
Listen, I love to shop small, shop local, but I also love the hunt of the shop.
That's part of it.
So if I'm being semi-politically correct, I would say I'm conflicted. If I'm being myself and knowing I am doing the most and then some, Walmart, come take all my money. Come take it. This is 5 and 7. I don't know how to explain to a 5-year-old or a 7-year-old. Well, I guess a 7-year-old could do, because she is a girl. Like, you could get her maybe an off-brand doll or something. But I don't know of any off-brand Hot Wheels. Haven't seen that. Micro Machines is not owned by anyone black, so that's the only other option I could think of. But I think I would agree with Brittany. Like, I do shop a lot of local and small shops. Actually, a shop that I probably will use for my daughter. She's actually a 10-year-old girl. She just launched her own little charm bracelet and like lip gloss.
Cute.
Little e-commerce shop. Yeah, so like that's something I would definitely do. Like find little things like that. Maybe something monogram for my son. I don't know, pillowcase. Something. But I guess I don't. Well, here's the other thing. We already went. I'm a web designer. Not that I have gone out of my way to only cater to the Black community with helping them launch. And we're talking like startups. You started something small and you just want something a little bit more elevated, more professional. I haven't gone out of my way to only cater to the Black business owners, but that's my clientele. And I love that about my business. Exactly. So that's my clientele, and I love that about my business. And I don't know. I guess it also depends on how you were brought up too. Like my mom's white, my dad's Black. We were raised probably in the Caucasian culture.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally a family tradition to pull all of the flyers at Thanksgiving, mark it off, and we all go, all right, you're going to this one, you're going to that one. And we're at these stores and we call each other, okay, I got this. All right, like that is literally what I enjoy about it, because that was something we did as a family.
Correct.
So it's less about, I guess I look at it as less about where my dollar is going in that sense, but Now, if we're not doing that anymore, which we're is phasing out because nanny old, nanny can't be out here at midnight no more or anything like that, and stores aren't doing that. Stores are all going
Yeah.
online. So yeah, I have the ability now to be a little bit more conscious when I'm doing things. But yeah, for like my kids, it's still. I sat up and hit refresh on Walmart just this past Wednesday several of times to secure me some large TVs. I did it to them, but it's the thrill of the hunt. So I don't know. I think
No, but I will say two things though. Two things in our defense. Like you said, you touched on something really good. For me, like you said, it's not about the brands, because even in this household, we're not really big on brands. Like that's something me and my husband have instilled in the kids. I'm not saying we don't have brand name things, but it really is about the hunt. Like we have this thing that we say in the household, like we never pay full price for anything. Like that's my thing. Like one of the gifts I got her literally retails for $70. I got it for $20. So it's not who's making it. It's about the deal that I'm getting and the money that I'm saving for my household. So that's one. And then also, like, shout out to my mom. Growing up, like she always told us, you go to the clearance rack first. And so like I live for the clearance. Like even online, I go to the online clearance, I go to the online deals. And I remember last year I bought her this little alien thing. It was like a squishy struts ball alien thing that I guess apparently usually retails for like $20. Amazon, for whatever reason, had it on sale for $7. To this day, she always talks about that gift. She's like, yeah, and last year Santa brought me something. I didn't even ask for it, but I love it. I still love it. It's so squishy. So for me, it's about the hunt. That's one. Mm-hmm. Then two, I feel like I get a pass a little bit because part of what I do is I work with these big brand models and big box companies to make sure there is inclusion for diverse businesses, quite frankly. So like, Walmart is one of our members. So I don't feel too bad going to Walmart because I know behind the scenes I'm working with them to make sure that they're spending, millions and billions with diverse businesses. Women, to be specific. So those are my two. That's what helps me to sleep at night. And like I said, any other time I'm always supporting, and again, and it's not like I'm not going to do it for the holidays. Like I already told you, I'm going to do it anyway. So that's my take on it. My take on it. It's one thing if, like you said, it's just like, oh, I have to be in this store. I have to. No, it's not about that. It's about I love looking at my list and seeing how much it retails for, and then seeing that I spent a quarter of that. It does something for me like that. I get a high off of it.
100%. It's like, I don't know. A lot of the money I spend lately in the I guess the Black economy is like food. Like nobody wants me to bring them a plate of like some seafood crab and mac and be like Merry Christmas. I mean, some people like
vegan meals.
There you go.
Meal Let me tell you what you can give me. You can give me meal prep. You can give me cleaning services.
I'm writing this down.
I know it's COVID, but you can give me cleaning services. Oh, and any of those, like, I'm trying to be healthy. So anybody that does like juicing or smoothies, send it my way.
You bring up a good point though. Like something or people are providing services. That's a great thing that you can gift people. You can gift services by a Black owned company. So that's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah. And what's really good this time of year now, the companies are ramping up, and I follow a lot of these pages. So like a lot of them are having like, drop your company so we can, support. So that's good. I'm getting ideas from there. But it popped up on my timeline today, and I was like, what? So it was a lady. She is offering, Black lady. She's was offering the service to come and decorate your house for Christmas, inside and out. And she sold out already. So she was saying people was telling her that's not a service that people would buy or take advantage of. And she's already sold out. I was like, yes.
The way my OCD is set up.
Yeah, no. I let kids put the tree, and then I come and I redo it every year. So my son gets mad because like my daughter, as she gets older, I actually let her do a little bit. He's like, you never let me put the ornaments up. I said, yes, I did. I just changed them later.
I got them their own trees
too. Don't worry.
They have their own 4-foot trees and their own ornaments, and like have at it. Don't this one right here. No, the main one is for me. Thank you.
Yep, I pick my theme, I pick my colors, and again, we can all do it together, but I'm going to make it the way I want it when it's all set. But we have the experience.
Well, I feel like you've challenged me to look at it a little bit more, to try to buy more black owned this holiday season. I mean,
Yeah, one thing
I
I'm
got my TV, so I can buy everything else black owned. We good.
Yeah, and I think one thing that I said I was going to work on, again, it may not happen, so I apologize in advance. It was making like a black owned and local owned, local as me and my sister call it, a local shopping list, because
Mm-hmm.
again, I follow all these pages, I do all these things anyway, and I
Mm-hmm.
see it, so it's like maybe I can compile the list. I know it changes often, but I mean, I feel like that's a service that Modern Mom can offer to you all.
Yeah, come on, Father Mom. Go ahead and get us a list.
I have some days off coming up. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. So it's just a little list together. It's a holiday shopping guide. Thank you. Now we've given you another task to do, Brittany.
I know, right? Always putting stuff on my own plate, but that's cool.
Right. Let's see. So The Impossible. This is a movie. I don't know if how many of y'all are aware of the movie called The Impossible, but real quick background. I find myself as the only adult in this house more than I like nowadays during COVID and virtual teaching of two little ones. So I watch programs where I literally watch people watching shows and movies, and I feel like I have a friend. So, all right, let's have a moment for poor sad Stephanie. Okay, and moving on. So, they were watching the movie The Impossible, one of the episodes, and I had seen this movie before. It came out in like 2004. No, after 2004. But
Yeah, I think
basically,
2012.
yeah, because the actual event was like 2004.
Correct.
Like yeah. Okay, so The Impossible, though, quick summary, is about the devastating tsunami that hit Thailand and Indonesia and Sri Lanka. Was that the other one? And Sri Lanka back in 2004 to 2000, something like that. 2004, 2006, that time frame. And I remember it in regards to the movie. I don't remember it at the time it happened. I would have been a junior in high school. But it's actually kind of the cinematographic retelling of this family's story that was there and experienced it. Yeah, we got in the comments, Francis said it was rough. Yeah. Full disclosure, warning, ding, ding, ding. Don't watch this with the children.
No.
Probably don't watch this if you're already slightly upset with your husband. Okay? I'm just going to throw that one in there too.
Oh, good one,
okay?
Good one.
have a tissue or two, or be eating. So so you're slightly not fully engrossed. Like just be you got it. It's a lot to take.
I disagree. I think you have to engross in it because it really is an experience. When Stephanie, well, let me let you finish telling about it, and then I'll tell my experience. Go.
Okay, so if we're gonna do a spoiler alert, we're gonna do a quick plot line coverage on this. So y'all can go look it up. It's on Netflix right now, and it's like number 2 on Netflix because there are a lot of lonely people like myself that watch shows and then go watch the programming that the shows watch. So they're on vacation and they hear this rumbling noise, and that's the tsunami comes, wipes the whole place out. I mean, level Thailand. It's a couple and their 3 sons, ranging in age, I would say, like from, I want to give the oldest maybe 11.
Yeah, I would even go, I would say like maybe, like 11. I would say 11 max.
Yeah, maybe 11 max. And then there's a younger one that seems like he's about 6 or so. And then one under him that's like 4 to maybe 5. 5 is pushing it, so he might be more like 3, 4.
I would give him 3, 4 based on the yeah.
And so the wave comes, crashes over, and everyone is wiped away. All the buildings are demolished, and we are basically following for most of the movie, I say about 75% from the mother's perspective, and her coming up after the initial hit from the wave and just clinging to a tree and watching all this water whooshing past her and not knowing anything about where her family is. And then from there, it's her finding her family and her trying to survive. She ends up locating her oldest son, so then we kind of follow them through trying to figure out what's next, what happens now. As we get them, I think basically we get them to the hospital. Someone helps them. They get to a hospital and they're dealing with that because if you queasy, there are some spots you gonna have to look away. But it's just so, yeah. We'll go to our synopsis after that. But then next you come to the father, who we don't know how because we followed the mother through the storm, or the wave, I should say. I guess it's not really a storm, but the freak of nature moment. He is with the two boys who, if you didn't know any better, you would have thought they just were playing in some mud and they didn't experience the tsunami. But then the father, let's say you and your husband may be already frustrated about him not supporting. Maybe make up, say you love you first. Yo, he done left the boys with some strangers to go look for a wife that he had no idea she was alive whatsoever. Left this like 5 and 3-year-old with some strangers that aren't even natives of the country, so they don't even know where they going, where to go. It was it's called The Impossible, so obviously the possible happens because it's called The Impossible. So they eventually get back together, but yeah, it was a whirlwind. And then, kind of like earlier today, my internet wanted to conk out at the reunion, right in the middle of the running reunion to each other, and me and Verizon almost had to fight. Okay, I made it through this whole movie, not so you can
cut right here.
Yes, this was the only joy we were going to get. But Brent, where you want to start? Where you want to break this down at? You want to start with the breakdown?
Okay, I'm gonna start off with some facts about the occurrence because again, I knew nothing about this until the actual tsunami, until watching the movie, and it was a recommendation by Stephanie, and I did get on Stephanie because I was like, well, you said it was good, Stephanie, but you didn't tell me you didn't fully prepare me for what I watched, quite frankly.
That's fair, and I apologize.
When I just was like, I literally was like, what? So, a couple facts about the movie. Over 350,000 people died as a result of this tsunami. It happened in the year of 2004, and I believe a total of 16 countries were affected, ranging all the way from Indonesia all the way to Somalia in Africa. So, and it still to this day is within the top 5 most devastating natural disasters of all time. So that just goes to tell you like how intense it was. And out of what happened was it was an earthquake, and Indonesia was the closest to the epicenter of the earthquake, and so they experienced the most devastation. So as a result of the earthquake, that's what triggered the tsunami. Okay. The movie, it was, as far as production, it's A1. Like, quite frankly, for this to be done in 2012, and like I'm a big movie buff, and I'm really big on documentaries or what do you call it? Movies where true life stories where they reenactments. I'm all for those type of movies. So if you have any recommendations, let me know. But the cinematography was amazing. The CGI for the waves, like I was telling Stephanie, there were parts that I literally was holding my body watching them. Like she said, it's quite. It's not graphic in the fact that you'd be like, but there are parts that you're like, oh my gosh, like.
Yeah,
you want to look away, but you kind of don't want to miss it. Yeah. So they show scenes where they're actually underwater and showing the debris and how it was hitting them, and it's intense. I think the best way I can describe this movie, quite frankly, it was intense. It was intense. I was kind of shocked because I'm a little bit of I don't want to say I'm a crybaby, but like it doesn't take much to make me cry. and I literally only shed one tear. But I think that's because I was just in such shock, quite frankly. Because I just couldn't
I
stop.
saw,
I couldn't stop. I watched it alone.
tears were coming before the wave even hit. Because as soon as it started playing, I was like, oh, that's right, I do remember. I was just cried the whole movie. It was a mess.
And to Stephanie's point, I wanted to say when she said, the mom comes up from the water and there's no one around, that part was so impactful to me because when the actual, I guess, impact happened, she was away from the rest of the family. So the dad was with the two youngest sons, and the other son was very close in close proximity to them, and she was further away. Within eye, she could see them, but she was further away, relaxing and reading. So that part was really
Yeah, I think
kind of crazy for me because it's like you go from like she screams to like give them the heads up because she can hear it,
right.
and within a second, she's underwater. It's crazy. So like I said, the movie was really, really intense. What else? Oh, the father. Yeah, I wanted to strangle him because I just felt like I get it that you want to find your family, but in a situation like that, why would you leave those two boys? Like they've already been through literally hell, because that's the only way I could describe it. Like I told Stephanie, there's another documentary. There's a real life documentary that they did 10 years later. And of course I watched it. I'm kind of a nerd in that way. Anytime I watch anything that's based on like real life, true life, um, anything like that, I always go back and research it afterwards. So I go and find like articles, real pictures, and if there's any follow up to see what's going on now. It's my thing. But so I went back and watched a documentary, and it was crazy because the survivors who were talking about like what they experienced, and they had survivors from different regions or different countries, not just Thailand. Exactly what they said, a lot of them, is how I felt while I was watching it. I was like, I don't know that I even would have had the strength to try, quite frankly. And I believe the only reason the mother even attempted to try was because she saw her son. Like she saw her son racing down the river. Like it was nuts. And I could see, like, I would too. Like if I saw one of my children racing, I would let go of the tree and I would try to figure it out by any means. I would fight to the very end. That's why I didn't understand about the father, because it's like you've already been through that. Now, granted, it didn't show his experience, but I'm sure you had to have some similar experience in which you were separated from your kids. You got back to them.
They said he saw them in the top of a tree.
Oh, they did say that. You're right.
He saw them in the top of a tree, and that's how he found them.
Which means you were separated from them at some point. So if you were separated from your children in the middle of a natural disaster, why would you then turn around and leave them again?
Right. And I think that when we talked about it was like, is that a mother instinct versus, not saying it's not the father's instinct to take care of the kid, but he's looking at it, I need to find the wife, I need to find the not that he's not a protector, but like the nurturer of our family.
Mm-hmm.
I need to find the whole family. I can't just be focused on these two. But I didn't get it. I mean, it bothered me.
I would love to see an interview from him to see like why he made those decisions, or were they just, dramatized more in the movie, because I didn't understand it. I was just like, it made no sense.
At least to change it to make it more of a film, but I don't feel like that was something that would have, had they not had that part, would we have missed it? No. We would have missed it.
I don't think so. And I think honestly, like as I'm sitting here thinking about it, maybe it's like, fathers are the protectors. Like I'm the fixer. Like I know a lot of times my husband will say, well, it's my job to fix things. So maybe he felt like he had to fix things. And to him, fixing was getting the whole family back together. But common sense would say, if I have 3 of the 5, let us 3 move as a unit,
right,
to find the other 2. Not let me leave 2 behind.
Right. And I feel like it would have been different if they were older children. Had it been the oldest son,
correct.
Different. But
correct. Yeah, no. And I agree. Like you said, my kids are 10 years apart. So for maybe if that situation happened to us, I would be more comfortable telling my 17-year-old, you watch your sister. By all means, you watch your sister. But I'm not telling my daggone 9-year-old, no, I'm sorry, not even 9. I'm not telling my 6-year-old, hey, you watch your 3-year-old brother.
That would be like telling my daughter to watch her brother, she's 7, he's 5. What are they going to do? They just learned how to use a microwave. What are they going to do? But like, I guess with the mom, like the other thing came up to me, like, I don't know how, I don't know how she did what she did. I don't know where she pulled that strength from. They didn't touch on it in the movie. I would imagine it. I for me, I know it would have to come from my face to pull that kind of energy she was able to muster to keep going the way she did. Because honestly, at one point, they actually had me, even though I watched the movie for it, they had me convinced that little, because they found a little boy along the way, her and her son. They had me convinced that was a delusion and the son was just playing to that for her.
Oh.
For a minute, I was convinced that. And then when they see the boy again in the hospital, I'm like, okay, well, because you just telling me this little boy just disappeared? And these people taking care of you and then we just lost a 3-year-old? How does that happen?
Remember they were together and then...
Right, but the boy was with them.
Remember when the people saved her? That's how they got separated. And he was like,
But where? He just stayed in the village? Like,
but that's my point. That's my point. Yeah. A child that young doesn't know let me follow and keep up. Like, I'm here, like, I don't know.
The strength she had, and I go, like, if you were in that situation, how would you react? Like, how, I would hope I had, one, the wherewithal, and two, the strength physically and mentally to do that. Do I think I would be like, oh, just write it off, write my kids up? No, I would never. I
think like you said, the mother in you or in me would, have that desire to find them. I'm gonna be completely 100 with you though. Like, I feel like if we want a girls trip and that happened, when I came up from the water, I would have held on as long as I could. Then I'd have like, you know what? It's been a good 34. Like, what am I? Because it was so much. And I always say, like, I feel like mentally we all, can only handle but so much, and you don't know what you would do until you were in that situation. But it's like, it seemed hopeless, quite frankly. It seemed hopeless. And again, watching the real world documentary and seeing the real pictures, like the movie would even touch on the real devastation they were dealing with and like what they really were seeing. So,
and if you even put that in place with what happened in Katrina, like, think about how long were they dealing with? How long were those waters there for Katrina? And they didn't have anywhere to go. That's where they live. These people, if they got to safety and they made it through that, they were airlifted out, and they weren't, call them Taiwanese. Is it Taiwanese?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They weren't Thai people.
That's what it's Thai.
Let's get on the next plane up out of here.
Yeah.
And you could decompress from that for a minute because you have a house somewhere.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that aspect of it, Stephanie. Like you said, most of the people who were there, at least in Thailand, they were visitors. They were there visiting for the holiday. So there's an international holiday that they celebrate overseas called Boxing Day. And so a lot of, especially in European countries, they'll go over to Thailand and other places, and they celebrate that holiday. So actually, if you research it, you can research it as the 2004 tsunami, the Boxing Day tsunami. All of those will bring up the information about it. But yeah, like you said, the majority of the people in Thailand were there on vacation. So like you said, if they were saved, if they were fortunate enough to be reconnected with family, they were eventually medevaced or,
And I will say, I like that the movie did touch on that a little bit when he tried to ask that guy for his phone, and the guy was like, well, we need it more. Like, bro, you all standing here, again, looking like you just showed up after the fact. What do you mean you need it more? Like, the man looks like he just went through it and then some, because he did just go through it and then some.
But you said, and that's the thing about, like, devastation at that point. Everybody is going through it and then some, like I said, everybody is displaced, everybody is injured. It's a lot, man. I highly recommend watching it, but like I said, just make sure you're in the right mental state before watching it, because it's impactful and it's definitely intense, to say the least.
Yeah, so you watch this, it's not a pick you up. It's not a pick you up. So don't go into there being like, oh, y'all told me it's a good movie. I
will say this, it's not a pick you up, but it's one of those movies that helps you put things in perspective. I always say I like to see things like that because it reminds me just how blessed I am. Like the next day, I definitely wouldn't hug my kids a little tighter. gave my husband a bigger kiss, because it definitely puts things in perspective. When you think you've had a hard life, or you've endured some things, or I've been through some things, you ain't been through nothing. Go watch that movie.
Right. No, you're right. Absolutely. Um,
But we got
yeah.
8 minutes, girl.
Uh,
What's the last thing we're gonna touch on?
Coping with stress.
Oh, okay.
Coping with stress. I mean, that movie, at point, honestly, it was stressful to watch. So I think we put coping with stress on there. Well, because we have some nice little antidotes to take us out, but it kind of flows well. Just try to give you all a little bit of a flow here. So coping with stress. This came up because I have very bad techniques for coping with stress, and yeah. So I don't know if there's a medical term for us, but I am a fill the void shopper. I'm gonna go with that. So when I feel like a need is not being met, more specifically like in my relationship, a little background. My husband's a fireman, so he generally will be gone for 24 hours, 36 hours at a time. But he's had some specialized training lately, and he's literally not here every day. And it's a lot when you in this house with these kids and COVID, so we can't go nowhere. It's been raining. It's been miserable. So he's just feeling like my little emotional needs tank was a little low. And when it gets a little low, Stephanie's online cards get a little high. They get a little full. Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly, Daniel. Little retail therapy.
That's right.
But the problem is, depending on how I'm feeling, on top of just feeling emotionally overwhelmed and stressed out, my retail shopping has little nuances to it. So I'm trying to put this in a way where Facebook doesn't tell me I'm inappropriate.
Just give it to them straight.
We just gonna give it to them straight. All right. So I was feeling like my words of affirmation tank was not being filled, and I brought that up with my husband. And at that time, he's stressed out. He's very tired from his work, so kind of got a little rejected. So retail therapy being my thing, I went and started filling some carts.
What did you buy, Stephanie?
Well, because I'm also God's child and a work in progress, my petty showed a little bit in my retail therapy, and I bought close to like $125 to $150 worth of lingerie that I don't plan on ever wearing while he's home. So that's coming probably by Monday. He's like, "Oh, what are these packages, babe?" Like, just because at this point, we talked in a day. Like, I just don't have the patience for that 24-hour cool down. I can't do it. And so now here we are. I've got lingerie out the wazoo coming. I got thigh-high glitter sparkle 4-5-inch heel stiletto boots coming.
You got to show us those next episode.
In a pandemic. And there are certain places where I shop, like online, I'm very bad at doing their returns because they don't make it simple. It's not like Amazon where I can just drive it to the Kohl's or like take it to Target. So yeah, we about to be drowning in garter belts and things, and I have no intention of actually wearing them. I'm just gonna open them when he's around and he can see, and just and just put it away.
That's terrible.
So Brittany, yeah, I need to do better. I'm not gonna say no. I need to do better. It's one thing for the retail therapy. It's another thing when I'm doing this, because this is out of control.
Retail therapy meets petty. I give you Stephanie.
Listen, I'm like, I'm not a skin shower, period. Okay? Like, I don't, I wear like what I wear to bed normally, I could probably go to any store and wear, and I wouldn't even end up on like Walmart's list of people. so, so I guess I need to figure out a way to do this better.
No, you're gonna have to figure out a way to use the lingerie, Stephanie. You're gonna have to send the kiddos away for like around the holidays for a couple days, and you're gonna have to use it. We can look. You can't say in one breath you're about the hunt and the deal, and then in another breath that you're gonna spend $125 and not use it.
Well, listen, but just think about that. If I'm about the hunt, do you know how much stuff I got for that money?
That's a good point.
Okay.
Well, you can sample a couple of things, make it fun. Reach out to what's her name, Shawnee, for some advice from the conference.
Oh, girl, we might have to bring her on here though, because you already know I don't like any of that. I'm sorry. I
think it's funny though, like for us to have so many, to have never like not known each other. We have so many similarities, and that's like one of mine. Like I'm a complete and utter prude, and a lot of people don't know that. Like.
I tell all the time, like, this activity is for procreation only, and I'm not procreating not another living thing in this house. Okay.
So I need no more. Two is enough. Two and the dog. Thank you.
Yep. Like I told you, like my birth control was like expired, and I was freaking out. I was like, "Don't touch me! Don't breathe on me! Don't come near me!"
No, man. I live by, die by my shot, and everyone knows it.
See, they told me apparently IUD, they have like a backup 6 to 12 months built into that thing. I said, see, that's a woman doctor for you.
Shoot me up.
That invented that though, because a male guy would be like, yeah, you didn't come here by the 30th, so guess what? Good luck.
Enjoy.
But yeah, so that's what I'm dealing with. So I'm hoping it comes in discreet packaging so he doesn't know.
I hope it comes in a box with all the pictures. And
it might come with Savage Fenty, so it will. It will come.
Ooh, you got Savage Fenty? Oh.
I had to do that one because I forgot to cancel my monthly subscription because you can skip your month. And I forgot. They're like, oh, guess what? We took your money. I was like, crap. All right. But
he's so cute.
So that's.
I'm looking forward to seeing your Savage Fenty, not in person, but seeing what you got. Maybe you can do an unboxing video. You can do a on your blog. You can write about it.
Oh, girl, you got me. You want me to actually do something on my blog? You know what? All right. We gave you a task. All right, I'll write it on the blog.
Love it. I'm looking forward to, and you can show us how much you saved. How about that?
I will. As I send them back, I'm gonna take a picture and be like, "This is me putting it in the Amazon return bag." And woo.
So it looks like the next episode will be November 27th. Oh, that's the Friday. That's Black Friday.
That's Black Friday. So have us a list, Britt.
I will have you guys a list.
Yeah.
Black Friday.
Yeah. So next Friday, or not next Friday, the following Friday.
Right. Yeah, because every other Friday is 7 p.m.
Yes, every other Friday, 7 p.m. live. Hopefully we'll be on the YouTube channel then. I just feel like that's more widely accessible to everyone. But we will always post it here on the Facebook page afterwards. And if it lets us, I think you can do an hour-long recording on the IGs now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and the YouTube will always have the backup of it as well. So we'll have Thanksgiving we can talk about next week. If there's anything, any of the people watching want us to chat about, let us know. We'll chat about it.
We like to talk.
I feel like I like this little movie thing we did, though.
I did like that. So maybe we can stick with that, yeah. I like that. You guys let us know if you liked it. If you felt like why y'all talking about it, then maybe we'll scrap it. But we enjoyed it.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, something came out tonight on Netflix. Jingle something. It's like an all-black cast, but it's a Christmas movie. Is it called Jingle Jangle? I feel like that's a terrible name.
I'm gonna say that's real stereotypical. So I'm gonna have a lot to say about that. I'll tell you that now.
It's called Jingle Jangle: A Christmas Journey.
All right. Let me get my.
But this has Yeah, Forrest Whitaker is in it. Keegan, the comedian guy, Keegan K.
Oh yeah,
Keegan,
yeah.
Anika Noni Rose, who was Princess and Princess and the Frog.
Yes, Tiana, Princess Tiana.
Yeah, Madeline Mills in it. Ricky Martin's in it.
Ricky Martin, y'all doing
Felicia Rashad's in it. Who else I see? I know off this list. That's all the names I recognize. But yeah, so that actually comes out tonight. So I'll probably be watching that next when my sister gets in town because she told me not to watch it without her.
Got you. I saw one, and let me know when I got to cut off. But I saw one advertised. It's about. Have you ever watched Schitt's Creek?
I watched the whole thing.
Okay, great. So you know the son from Schitt's Creek, he's in the movie, but it's a lesbian couple, and they're going home for Christmas for the first time. But the one, I guess, one of the girls who they're going home to, her parents don't know that she's gay. So she introduces her lover as her orphan roommate. And then the guy from Schitt's Creek comes to. So I plan on watching that because everything he does is hilarious to me. So.
I was going to say, what is he supposed to do? Because there's no way they're going to think he's going to pass.
Well, that's what happens. Like in the commercial.
Oh, God. Okay.
Like, yes, I'm her ex-boyfriend, and I'm so passionate, and I'm so sexually attracted to her.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna have to watch that one.
That's it right there. I gotta watch it. So
okay, you guys send me the title for that one. We'll post that if that'll be the one we do.
Yeah, that's gonna be a funny one. So I plan on watching that. I think that's Netflix too, but I'll send it to you.
Okay, yeah. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for joining us. We want to do. I don't know if anyone want to do a quick Q&A. I don't know. You can post a comment if you want. We can hang around for another 2 minutes or so. Yeah, Miss Robinson's, yep, Netflix, Jingle Jangle is that movie. I'm mad at that name. I'm excited for the movie, but
that's what that is.
And it's a musical. It's supposed to be like a Christmas musical.
It's a musical?
I think they just have singing in it. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 100%, so.
Who gave it 100%?
Rotten Tomatoes.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, with a cast like that, the producers, John Legend is one of the producers. So the music's going to be good. But, all right. Well, Brittany, do we want to sing our own outro?
What's that mean? I'm shy.
I don't have, no, we're not singing our own outro today, guys. Sorry, guys.
We're going to work on it, though. We have some ideas. We're going to love it.
We're going to work on it. So we'll see you guys on the 27th. Bye.